Welcome back. I'm in St. James Parish, right along the banks of the Mississippi River, and I'm standing in front of Colonel Leopold Armant's historical marker sign. Armant enlisted in the Confederate Army in 1861, died heroically at Battle of Mansfield in 1864. Stay tuned, and I'll tell you all about Leopold Armant. Leopold Ludger Armant of St. James Parish, Louisiana, was the son of Adjutant General and State Senator John Seraphim Armant and Louise Amelie Fuselier. Raised on the Armant plantation, a working sugar plantation, he earned his master's degree from Georgetown University in 1855 and later graduated from the University of Louisiana in 1858 after also studying at the University of Virginia. Before the Civil War, he practiced law and served in the Louisiana legislature. At the outbreak of the war, Armant entered Confederate service as a first lieutenant in the 18th Louisiana Infantry, organized at Camp Moore in 1861. He rose rapidly to captain, major, and colonel by July 1862. Widely respected by his men, he was noted for leading from the front during the Tesh Campaign and the Battle of Bislin, and for sharing the hardships of long marches in northern Louisiana. At the Battle of Mansfield on April 8, 1864, a key Confederate victory in the Red River Campaign, Armant played a central role in the charge that shattered Union lines. The Battle of Mansfield, also called the Battle of Sabine Crossroads, marked a decisive moment in the Red River Campaign during the American Civil War. As the conflict neared its end, Union forces aimed to take control of Shreveport, divide Confederate troops throughout Louisiana, and secure cotton from plantations along the Red River. Ultimately, the campaign ended in a total failure for the Union, as none of these goals were accomplished. In late March 1864, Union forces under Major General Nathaniel P. Banks advanced up the Red River in the Red River Campaign, aiming to defeat Confederate troops and capture Shreveport. By April 1st, they held Grand Ecore and Natchitoches. While part of the force continued by river, the main army moved inland towards Mansfield, where Confederate forces were gathering. Confederate Major General Richard Taylor fell back to unite with reinforcements and chose a clearing south of Mansfield to make his stand, sending cavalry to delay the Union advance. On April 8th, Banks's army stretched along the wooded road and halted when cavalry encountered Confederates in a strong position. Both sides rushed to concentrate their forces. At about 4 p.m., Richard Taylor sent orders to Mouton to commence the attack. Mouton's division advanced toward the Federal lines before the other troops on his flank got word. All the field officers decided to go into the fight mounted, including Colonel Armant, a mistake that would cost him dearly. Veteran units that fought at Shiloh, in the Bayou Teche campaign, and in earlier Louisiana engagements. As the brigade advanced into the open field, heavy fire tore through its ranks and officers fell rapidly. Lieutenant Colonel Franklin H. Clack was mortally wounded, and Colonel James Beard was killed after seizing the fallen colors. Major Mercer Canefield and Captain Seth R. Field also died carrying the flag. Colonel Armant led the 18th Louisiana forward under intense fire. After regrouping in a ravine and renewing the charge, his horse was shot down, but he rose and pressed on. When the regiment's colors fell, he lifted them and urged his men ahead, only to be fatally shot within yards of the enemy line. Despite losing most of their officers, Louisianians reached the Federal rail fence and delivered a devastating volley. The 28th Louisiana advanced fastest and suffered the fewest losses. Brigadier General Alfred Mouton was also mortally wounded amid the chaos. The Louisiana Brigade pushed the Federals back through the woods and over Honeycutt Hill, routing Landrum's line and later overwhelming reinforcements from the 13th Corps. The Confederate advance was finally halted when the 19th Corps under Brigadier General William H. Emory formed a defensive line on a hill across from the Mansfield Road. Gray's Louisiana Brigade had lost over 400 men, about 40% its strength. The Crescent Regiment suffered a loss of 57 men killed and 134 wounded. In the 18th Louisiana, 19 killed and 75 wounded. The casualties of the 28th Louisiana were not reported, but they are most likely similar to the others. The Louisianians were the first to attack, first to break the Federal lines, and the first to draw blood at Mansfield. What drove them to fight so hard must have been the fact that they were fighting on their home soil, some men literally being just a few miles from their homes when engaged at Mansfield. After the battle, Armant was buried in the Mansfield City Cemetery. His body was later reinterred in St. Anne Catholic Cemetery in St. James Parish, Louisiana.